I'm Yael with that hashtag show, and I got a chance to sit down with some of the stars of the Mighty Ducks Game Changers. Check out my chat with Brady Noon, Maxwell Simkins, and Sway Bhatia now and catch the Mighty Ducks Game Changers on March 26th only on Disney+. Hey, everybody. It's great to see you all. Hi. I'm so excited to talk to you about the Mighty Ducks Game Changers. I want to start with a real simple question. How familiar were you with the Mighty Ducks series before you joined the cast? We can start with Maxwell.
Well, all of us were familiar with the franchise. I actually watched the first one a little bit before I got the audition. Then the audition came public and everyone was auditioning for this role. And I remember at the exact same time, the actual Mighty Ducks, all three of them came out to Disney+. So I watched them all with my family and my little brother and me. We loved them so much. So it was really good. We really loved the franchise as a family.
That's awesome. Brady, had you seen it before?
Yes, I have. I was a big fan of the Mighty Ducks franchise before anything, before I auditioned. I really liked the first one. I went through a whole phase in like fifth grade where all I wanted to do was watch Mighty Ducks and wanted to do the knuckle puck, triple deke, had posters in my room, all that good stuff. So, yeah.
That's awesome. And Sway, what about you?
Yeah, as being a figure skater, a lot of people recommended the movie to me. So as soon as the audition came up, I watched it right away and I instantly got hooked to the whole franchise. And I was so inspired by Coach Bombay.
That's awesome. And Sway, your character is an elite athlete and you are a figure skater. How much training did you have to do to go from figure skating to hockey?
It took a while for me to get used to it, but I only had a little time to turn it around. So we had 2 weeks of training in February to train for hockey. And so I came in with my figure skates. I was like, wrong skates. Okay. So I had 2 days of being on my figure skates, getting back on the ice. They were like, oh, she's good at figure skating. And that's wrong. So I got my hockey skates and it took me about an hour to get used to it. So it was hard because I had to, figure out the new training, the new technique and the new blade. But we had great teachers, NHL players. So it was really, that was very helpful.
Yeah, I can imagine that's got to be incredibly helpful. Brady, what about you? How's your skating?
My skating's all right. I think I've improved a lot since the pilot. Now that I play on an actual high school hockey team. So I think I've also improved since I left, trying to give 110% at all times that I can. And hopefully excited to get back if we have a season 2.
Yeah. And Maxwell, your character doesn't need to be the best at hockey, but
No, so it was pretty good. It was pretty good for me. I didn't have to be like these two, like an Olympic hockey player. I didn't have to be that good. You'll see later on, I don't want to give away too much, but you'll see later on in the series, the need for each player to develop grows more and more. There's a time when each player has a decision to pass the puck or to take the shot. If they're not good enough to make that shot, then the whole thing goes downhill. So you'll see down the line of the show how the team needs everyone to start leveling up their game.
That's awesome. And, Maxwell, your character is an expert at hockey and has his own podcast.
Yes.
Are you an expert at hockey enough to have a podcast, or is there something else that you do a podcast on?
No, I rap. So if anything, I can do a hip hop podcast. I know everything about that from the 70s till now. I know every little detail about that. I can do a podcast on hip hop. I learned a lot about hockey, surprisingly, from the show. I don't know if it would be a good podcast, but I can do a podcast on hockey.
Wow. I think this is it. You're announcing it now. We're doing that.
Coming next week. Tune in. Wrap around.
Yeah, I mean, this cast is incredible and you get to work with some iconic people. Brady, you worked closest with Lauren Graham, who is an iconic TV mom. Were you familiar with her before getting the role of Evan?
Of course, who's not? She's a legend in the industry. So it was such a blessing to be able to work with such an amazing actor. I think being up close with her, I can observe how she works, how she functions, and I think it's incredible. And I try to take anything that I can from her and Emilio and my coworkers, and I try to implement it into my own acting acting career and hopefully help myself out in the long run.
Let's talk about Emilio for a second. Was it intimidating? Is he nice? How was he? Brady?
Not at all. He was such a nice guy, really, really, really down to earth. We bonded a lot over like different types of food because we both are very picky eaters. So we love to talk about different types of food. Just a really nice guy. He has a farm, so it's always a good time to talk to him. He's really funny.
That's awesome. Sway, I want to talk a little bit about the co-edness of hockey. Did you feel like it was a fair playing field on the ice with guys and girls playing together?
Yeah, I think there's definitely lots of representation in the show, which is just so amazing. I mean, me, Tegan, and Bella are the female players, the female hockey players in the show. And there's some other characters that you'll see that are females in the show. And then there's Julie Serta, who plays a hockey mom on the Mighty Ducks team, which is the team that my character plays on. And my mother and Evan's mother, there's definitely a range of females and men. I think the show did really well with casting for representation. Me, Luke Islam, DJ, and Julie are all people of color, and it's really, really amazing to see the representation that they have on the show. I think they did really well with that.
Yeah, absolutely. Great. Well, thank you guys so much for chatting with me today.
Thank you so much.
Thank
Bye-bye.
you.
Bye.